I learned that there was a difference between the way East Coasters say it and West Coasters say it. I'm a West Coast guy. At some point I switched to East Coast mentality, so now I just call it a soda, which I guess is an East Coast thing. So, anyways, so welcome on tonight. Anything special in your world today?
No big excitement. Like I was telling you guys backstage, Friday's usually my day to get all my errands done because I have a gig tomorrow night, and so in the afternoon I kind of have to get my stuff together and all that. But yeah, Fridays I just chill at home, get stuff done. I went to the gym, went grocery shopping, did laundry. Big excitement.
Well, that does sound very exciting, and I
Very
like
exciting.
I like an easy schedule. By the way, you just reminded me. You said tomorrow night you've got a gig. Tomorrow night, the Seattle Seahawks are playing a major one and done. Right, your season's over in the playoffs. It's one and done on every single game. So, Seahawks versus 49ers tomorrow night, right during our live. So I am not going live because I'm not going to make the mistake I did last time and have somebody tell me the score of the game in the middle of my fucking live. Not doing it. So these games mean too much to me. The whole season comes down to every one game. So it could be the end of the season tomorrow for the Seahawks. So I gotta watch the team, and I don't want to find out my team got kicked out of the playoffs because somebody told me on my channel. So I'm not going to be here. I think the rest of the team, we're all going to just take the night off. You're not going to be here. You got a gig. So tomorrow night, unfortunately, guys, we're not going to have a Crimes After Dark show. Sunday night will be my normal day off. So the team will run the Crimes After Dark as normal on Sunday, I believe. So it's just off tomorrow night, the team without me on Sunday, and then we'll all be back together as a family on Monday. Now, I decided that normally I was going to bring up everybody on stage in the order they queued up backstage, and 1-1's next. But 1-1 has a monologue he usually runs us through. So I think we're going to start putting 1-1 maybe last on stage so that he doesn't have to hold for the monologue and then come back for the monologue. We'll just stick him in the back position so that he can run the monologue when he gets done with his welcome. So if that works out, 1-1, let me know. If it doesn't, you're like, no, I'm not. I was here first, but my ass is not going to be last. So the first shall be last. Anyways, let's bring up Dago. So glad to see Dago because Dago, by the way, wasn't here at the very start. And I thought, oh shit, we don't have Dago tonight. What are we going to do? The show is so different when Dago's not on. What's up, bud? Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Is it us that has you muted?
Nope, it was me. And like I said, forget about it. Good to see you guys tonight.
It's good to see you as well. You had me nervous, man. I thought, oh no, we're going without Dago tonight.
I sent you a message saying that I was going to be late, and I just was able to finish up right as you went live, and I'm like, let me hurry up and get in there. So.
You bring up a good point, by the way. I get a lot of messages now, and I get messages from everywhere. I get messages on Discord. I get messages on private message. I get messages on three different apps, like a Facebook Messenger. I got a Signal for encrypted messages with certain people. I've got regular Messenger on my phone. I've got a million forms of communication, and different people have gotten different forms of communication from me because some people have kind of like inside tips they want to share with me. So I give them private communication channels. Anyways, the point being is I got a million communication channels, and now I'm realizing I'm really kind of dropping the ball because people will do kind of like what you just did. They're like, dude, I sent you a message on this. And I'm like, yeah, but I got like 17 places to look for messages. I got to streamline this system somehow.
I just sent it direct to you because like I said, I thought I was going to be okay. And then I got wrapped up with what I was doing with my wife. But I looked up at the clock and I was like, oh shit. So I just wanted to hurry up and get a message to you just in case I wasn't. And I just finished up right as you went live. So I'm like, I'm going to do it.
No worries. I think this crew here has our back. They're telling us to always be careful of the wives. So if you had a delay because of the wife, I think everybody in the chat would say take care of the wife first. Because I told them that my wife told me I shouldn't fly my brand new drone over a lake, and I should have listened to her. Everybody's like, listen to your wife. So maybe we should listen to my wife. Yeah, I almost dumped my new drone in a lake today. But anyways,
they know everything. They know best. That's why they're. And I don't care what anybody says, and I've been argued with many a times. They are the dominant species, in my opinion, and I have nothing but absolute respect. And I'm not just saying that, guys. 20 years of marriage, I'm telling you, is a fact.
Yeah, I don't want to go super sideways on that, but I as well. have a fondness for females over males, and that's not just from like, whatever. It's just I always grew up having this weird like super respect for women in some regards, and in fact it got me in trouble because I had a female friend that was just a really close friend. I told you I wasn't going to do this, and yet I'm doing this. So I had a female friend one time, and I got a little overprotective of her. Somebody was messing with her, and I got a little overprotective of her. And I'm like, what's this guy's name? And she's like, I don't need a brother. I've already got a brother. I don't need a brother. And I'm like, sorry, it's just in my nature. I'm like, what the fuck? This guy can't do that. Fuck that
exactly
guy.
How I am too. 100% exactly how I am. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny. We have a lot of similarities. Well, let's bring up our last guest, 1-1. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, there goes the neighborhood.
Yep. Look out.
Good evening, Den. DJ, Robin, Boss Man.
Hello?
Yes.
It's good to see you. Anything new in your world today?
Well, quickly to address the comments that you were saying backstage, I would say, yeah, so I have three bosses in my life. I got my boss here at law enforcement. I have the boss here on the channel, and I have the boss at home.
The most important one.
Yes. So it is true. Happy wife equals happy life. It is true. It's a common thing that people say, but
amen to that, brother.
Yeah.
Although I have to say.
Wait, let me move over before you say whatever you're going to say.
You're gonna get a shoe from the wife in the background. Fuck that guy, get off your camera.
Exactly.
Anyway, the problem is that my wife and I have differences of opinions about business moves. And so sometimes it's funny because my wife has a business and I have my own business. And sometimes my wife tells me how to run my business. And then I'd be like, hey, wait a minute. This is my business. And our channel where we say, listen to your wife. I'm like, well, wait a minute. This is my business. Like I'm making the calls on my business. But anyway, so yeah.
Dude, it's unbelievable how weirdly alike we are. Because my wife works, but she also runs a baking business that she runs on the side when she has the chance to. And she's constantly telling me what I should be doing over here. Constantly telling me what I should not be doing over here. So it's beyond weird to me now.
Right. I mean, hey, this is the best part. I learned a trick from the Southern people. Bless her heart. When she says these things, it's with good intentions, right? You can say almost anything if you say bless your heart.
Yes,
bless her heart.
Bless her pea-picking heart. Yes.
Yeah, right. You can say somebody's stupid, like bless their heart. She's not as smart as a box of rocks, but she's awfully nice. You can do that, and you're okay. But I would never say that about the
God, no.
story. She's gonna come in here. She's gonna come in here in a minute and throw a shoe at me.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
I could tell you guys after I don't think not everyone on here has them, but myself after I have been blessed. I have two kids. Going through, I say going through, that it's kind of funny. I'll probably get hit for saying that, but seeing my wife, being with my wife, going, giving childbirth, you gain, I have a whole new, respect for
Amen.
the female. I don't know how they do it. I don't think I could do it.
I'm gonna let you do your monologue in just a moment, but I have a feeling that Dago and I don't know if you guys have all seen this, but I have a feeling Dago and I would be exactly like the Key and Peele sketch where we're not with our wives and we're like, I looked that woman in the windows of her soul and I said, bitch, and then she walks in and I'm like, oh, hey, honey, how's it going?
You ain't lying, my friend. You are not lying. You are not lying. You're not lying.
Right, give us a monologue and read us in, and let's get going.
All right. So, good night, Jackson, Juliana, my wife. Love you guys. Is it good to be alive in the den on a Friday night?
Always.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome to the place where the lights don't quite reach, where the truth doesn't come neatly packaged, and where the questions are louder than the answers. This is Devil's Advocates. Tonight, we are not here to comfort you. We're not here to tell you what to think. And we are definitely not here to repeat the safe version of the story. We're here for the uncomfortable moments, the missing minutes, the contradictions that get brushed aside, the details that make people shift in their seats and say, why don't we talk about that? Because every story has two sides, and then there's the side that no one wants to acknowledge. This is where we slow it down, strip it bare, put all loose threads until the whole narrative starts to unravel. We ask the questions you're not supposed to ask. We challenge the conclusions you were told were settled. And we stand in that uneasy space between what's known and what's been buried. Facts don't always tell the whole story. Timelines bend. Memories fail. And truth has a way of changing depending on who's holding the microphone. So tonight, we play devil's advocate, not to defend the indefensible, but to expose the cracks in the foundation. If you're looking for comfort, this isn't it. If you're looking for certainty, you won't find it here. But if you're willing to sit in the darkness, to listen closely, and to question everything you thought you understood, then you're in the right place. Because when the noise fades, when the spin stops, and when the story finally has nowhere left to hide, that's when the real conversation begins. This is Devil's Advocates. And with that, live from New York, it's Friday night.
Perfect. And that is the way to start off the evening. By the way, if you are brand new to the show, like we had somebody say, hey, I made my first live. That doesn't mean you're new to the show, but you're maybe your first live. Please take an opportunity to ask a question so we can talk about it as a panel. I get so many rumors, by the way, coming in. I've got some crazy, wild rumors coming in that I have to vet before we talk about them on screen. But the Idaho 4 case is just, I keep hearing new shit daily that I'm just like, how the hell if that's true, how the hell are we in this position? I fundamentally am baffled by this case's complexity. And again, it always goes back to what Joe or JJ said, which is that any one thing by itself you could dismiss, but at some point the number of inconsistencies and inaccuracies and lies and it shows, again, as a favorite JJ moment, it shows a level of fuckery in this case. There's just flat out fuckery in this case. So now the question is, will we find out why? Because what's certain is they didn't tell the public the truth. Oh, what do we got here on screen? We've got oh,
there you go.
There you go. That should be quintessential reading requirement for Devil's Advocates groups. That book right there should be read by everyone.
Yeah. So maybe you put that up. I actually listened.
Oh yes,
nice.
I listened to the case today that was talking about the dentist and the autopsy guy.
Oh God, yeah, the autopsy guy. Yeah, that autopsy guy scares the crap out of me. I mean, it was one guy. I mean, to again, not to steal his thunder, but one guy who did so many autopsies and billed so much money. I think they said, what they say his salary was. They estimated his salary, and it was like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. He was doing ungodly amounts of autopsies, and they bring him in as an expert witness. And literally, just again to kind of cut to the chase on some of it, the prosecution would tell this guy what they needed the findings to say, and then he would find a way to say, "Oh yeah, I see evidence of that," and then he would go on the stand and say, whatever they want him to say. Hey, we think this guy was strangled. Oh, I can see evidence of that, and he'll go on and convince, without a doubt, this person was strangled, because that's what they told him they needed the evidence to say, and he would do it. And they convicted a lot of people by just working in a symbiotic relationship of having somebody that could talk science and was good on a stand to say, "This is what we need you to say," and he'll do it.
And there was one section in that chapter where like the guy would literally have like 3 bodies in a room at the same time. And he'd be like, he was just doing it
triple dipping.
Like he wasn't even giving it real attention.
See, somebody brought him to my attention 2 years ago because of the things that were going on with Idaho. They brought him up before I even knew about this book. That he had been doing this for a while, and I was like, that's crazy. And then this book has him in it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a real deal thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I said then, I'm like, I almost wonder if they're using this guy in Idaho for some damn reason, because it's the same shit. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Well, and here's what the hard part is. We tend to think that, well, if we can see the autopsy report, then it will help answer the question. But how does that work if the person who's the coroner who's doing the autopsy report or whatever is in on the gig? Like if they're literally being told by law enforcement what they need the autopsy to say. Like at what point can you trust anything if they literally are in on the gig? So like
right, and that's what I've been wondering.
We've never seen doctored autopsies in the past.
No.
That's never happened.
Never. Well, just like today, I pointed out in the video we were covering today, and I showed I like jumped through the screen. I'm like, they played back a video. What the hell was it? I can't remember which. It was a video I was reviewing for a newer creator that's out here. That's amazing, by the way. You guys got to check her out. And I was like, she lied. And it was when she said that she was on scene at 5:30 because the police had to do their thing. And I'm like, no, you weren't. You were there at 12:30. They told you to stand down, and you didn't go in the house till 8:30, 9 o'clock. I said, why are you lying? I just flipped out completely, like I usually do. So,
well, you bring up inadvertently a rant. I'm going to try to keep short, which was a lot of people in this case, officials, have learned how to say things that aren't a lie, but they know the public will believe a certain thing, so they and they'll argue, you just misunderstood. That's your fault. But they knew damn well you were going to misunderstand. A perfect example. Brian Koberger's cell phone pinged off of the cell tower that services the house at 1122 King Road doors over 20 times. They know that you're going to think what they just said was Brian Koberger's was right outside their house 20 times. That's not what they said. It's not even close to what they said. And when called on it, they say, we never said he was outside their house. We just said he was pinging off the cell tower that services the house. And you're the one that made the mistake by jumping to the conclusion. But they know you were going to jump to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Just like when I was playing.
They counted on it, Lee. That, my friend, is how they convicted this man in the court of opinion. Period.
Well, the cell phone crushed him. That was a huge thing. We spoke about it the other day when you weren't here 2 days ago. Lee, we brought it up. The same thing going along with what you're talking about. Also with his phone,
right?
So-called
maybe you guys talked about, you and I talked about this. So you and I talked about this offline, which was another place they did it on. So they said in the PCA, Brian Koberger's cell phone lost communication or lost service at a certain amount of time. They knew damn well. And listen, in the PCA, what the officer wrote was, in my experience, it is common for criminals to turn off their phone when heading to a crime scene. And here's the thing that people don't realize, the fuckery. He didn't say Brian Koberger turned off his phone. He said it lost service and that in his experience, criminals turned off their phones. He didn't say Brian turned off his phone. He knew you would imply that, but that's not what he said. What he said was the phone lost service and in my experience, people turn off their phones when they go to crime scenes. He did not say Brian turned off his phone, but people jumped to that conclusion as he knew you would. And if he gets called on it, he'd be like, I never said Brian turned off his phone. I said it lost service and that in my experience, people turn off their phones. You jump to the conclusion that's on you. And they do that all the way so they protect themselves.
Who did? But I'll tell you.
Well, that's called a psyop. That's what
Celebrate.
That's called.
The Celebrate guys.
Yeah.
What are their names? The
barnyard.
Barn bums. Whatever.
The barn parts.
Yeah, they did. Because I saw multiple interviews with them. They like to go all over the place. They did say he turned off his phone, and it was one of the things. Like we were talking about the other night. The thing that I couldn't get past that really bothered me. We talked about evaluating behavior and all that. They made a big deal about, they used whatever program and their technology and they dumped his phone, and supposedly there's some kind of picture or a few pictures or something that he took of being out that night. And they were explaining that, and they're like, oh, well, this picture that he took, it's got to be a manipulated photo or it's some kind of doctored photo because his phone was off, and they're out, and now these are people These are experts that are working for the FBI. So of course the public, of course, they can be like, oh look, these are cell phone experts now saying that it's impossible that he could have taken a picture. But guess what? Like we said the other night, what in Dago where he lives, he spelled it out. He said it's happened to him multiple times. Think about it logically. How could it be possible for Brian Kohlberger to take a photo of the sky, of the stars or the meteor or whatever it was? How could that be if his phone was off? Well, guess what?
Yeah.
His phone wasn't off. It just lost service. He just lost from the tower. So if he just lost service from the tower, you can still take a photo.
And I want to say,
handed off from that set of towers to a new tower, and they didn't look at it that way, and there's the problem.
I want to say
they did look at it. They just denied that. Sorry.
Wasn't Joe? Were you with me when we proved? I want to say you were with me that night.
Yeah, we drove through those areas.
You guys lost service. You guys couldn't even come into the live. You guys couldn't even. We came into Pullman via Wawaway Park, the route that Kohlberger, and we literally had no cell service until we got to Pullman. Because guess what? When you leave Pullman towards Wawaway Park, you lose cell service. We literally had no service all the way to Pullman because when you go that direction, you lose cell service. Like we proved it. But yeah, anyways, it was crazy.
Bingo.
Well, as I was saying backstage, I don't know if anybody in the den saw this, or Dago, if you got a chance, but Brian Enton and Megyn Kelly, just before I got on here earlier, I was listening to them talking about the WSU lawsuit and how all the instances where Kohlberger was allegedly stalking the victims.
It's unbelievable.
So I thought it was interesting in light of what DA was just saying, that they present things and most of the public doesn't bother to actually look it up for themselves.
Nope.
And they think, oh, it's Megyn Kelly, it's Brian Enton. They're telling us what's really going on. And I dropped a few comments in there. I made sure I put a comment in each of their videos.
Good. and that's good for you, Joe. And you know what? See, guys, that's a problem for me because, like you just said, you just pointed out something that people look to them because they're reporters, per se, to tell the world the truth. And they do the exact opposite of that. Brian Enton is the man that created the comment when Brian was arrested that said, has anybody else been arrested yet?
Yeah.
Brian never said that. His attorney verified it. That the only thing he ever said was, I cannot, and this is his Pennsylvania attorney, mind you, that I cannot wait to be exonerated from this. That was a Brian comment, not that other bullshit. So Brian Enton created that comment. And guys, how far did that go? There's still people.
It's still being talked about today.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what these people do. That's why I get so pissed off and I blow up on my channel and flip out and turn into a cherry. My head flies off the top of my shoulders and I go Sicilian, as I call it, and just start spewing swear words left and right because there's no accountability for the ignorance and the douchebaggery, another Joe word I'm going to use, the douchebaggery that they're using and the fuckery, guys. It's disgusting. And they have no accountability. They don't even care that you're telling blatant lies day after day after day after day, affecting a situation that you're lying about. And they just allow it to happen every single day. And it just makes me nuts. I'm sorry, Robin. I didn't mean to overtalk if you were talking.
No, you didn't. No.
And the thing is that, and it's totally working so far for them, which is that they lie, they misrepresent, they purposely mislead and know that the public will jump to conclusions and believe that what they just said was Brian Kohlberger was stalking the girls, even though they flat out said he wasn't. They know that will stick in your mind. And then
they double down. Yeah.
When they get a guilty conviction, they say, well, it doesn't matter what we said. He pled guilty. End of story. And again, this is the narrative even the public keeps repeating. People don't plead guilty to things they didn't do. If he pled guilty, that means he must have done it. It couldn't be, for God's sake, that the guy was fucked and was never going to get a fair trial, and he knew he was never going to get a fair trial because they'd already convicted him, and every single person on the jury was going in there tainted, knowing he's guilty because they've been told he was at the house, pinging up the cell towers, DNA's all over the house. That's what the jury would have believed walking into the courtroom. Yeah. He had no chance, a snowball's chance in hell. And so, oh, well, he pled guilty. It must mean he was. Or he had no fucking chance.
And the man did not confess, folks. He did not. And I'm saying this because everybody else wants to be particular. I'm going to do it too. If you pull up a copy of Black's Law Dictionary, the definition of a confession in there states that in a confession, the person that is giving this confession will give information about the case as they say that they confess to it. Okay. This never happened.
Yeah. No,
all that Brian did, all he did was agree to the charges that they put in front of him so that he could take the deal and move forward. That's all that man did. There was not one damn detail given to us about that case. Not a word was spoken by that man because they wouldn't let him talk because we're not to believe him. Remember?
He should have been forced to say, if you want a plea deal, he should have been forced. Then you have to tell us something.
Well,
tell us something that proves that you know.
We're hitting on three things at once. I can't even get a thought out of my head because before I get there, three more thoughts came. So technically, here's the thing. To Dago's point, yes, people think it's splitting hairs. There's a difference between a confession and accepting a plea deal. Yes. Brian Koberger accepted a plea deal. That's not confessing. And people think it doesn't matter. It does matter. What Brian Koberger did was a legal move called accepting a plea deal. And part of that accepting of a plea deal requires him to answer in the affirmative the things that they state. It's a plea deal. It is not a confession. So it is a small nuance for some people, but it's the devil is in the details. Is that not the moniker of our show?
Right there.
But then to one's point, they cannot, in my understanding, force somebody accepting a plea deal to give details about the crime. They can't force you to do that. So a lot of people say they should have forced him to do that. They can't. They can't legally force him to do dick. Now, again, the devil's in the details. What they can do, and often it's done, is we'll give you a plea deal, but in exchange for you need to give us a whatever. And he doesn't have to do that. And so it's one of those kind of like behind the scenes, not known kind of thing. When he does a plea deal, he doesn't have to tell them anything. When the judge said, "Would you like to give some kind of statement?" He has the right to say, "I have nothing to say." In fact, here's a weird thing Brian Koberger said. I respectfully decline to say anything. Why would he respect anybody? If you just murdered a bunch of people's kids, how are you being respectful? Like, you're not being respectful. So he respectfully declined because, again, it was a legal move. All it was a plea deal. It wasn't a confession, and he was just respectfully declining his option to say more about the thing. It wasn't a confession.
And they conveniently tried to use their own wit, which was a joke. Everybody saw through it, saying, especially Hypocrite, he's the one that said, well, we're not to believe anything he says at this point. That nobody. And then Bill Thompson made the statement that people, and in layman's terms, he insulted the whole world because he said people would not understand, Brian, what he had to say. We're not stupid, you idiot. Of course you would understand him, but you don't want him to talk because he didn't do it, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Hitler, okay? They know that he's not going to have anything to say because he wasn't there. In turn...
you're right. What in my opinion as well, it's an opinion. Let's make sure we're stating opinions.
In my opinion, I keep saying it, yes.
In my opinion, Bill Thompson absolutely treated everybody in America like they're dipshits because people asked him, why didn't you at least ask Brian Koberger, where's the knife? And his response essentially was, well, you can't believe anything a psychopath says anyways, basically. He was like, he's mentally disturbed. You can't, you would never be able to believe anything he says anyways. Therefore, why even ask? Because anything he said, you couldn't trust him. And I'm like, and you and I are both like, if he tells you where the fucking knife is, it's not a matter of having to believe him or not. No. He can either tell you where the knife is or he's not. So why don't you just fucking ask? Because if he tells you where the knife is, it's an end of story. It's not a matter of believing or not. You either found it or you didn't.
It was an excuse. It was an excuse to get out of not being able to do their job. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what. Like it's going to get worse. You know why? You know why it's going to get worse?
Several reasons, but yeah, go ahead. What?
One big reason, besides from the whatever document drop or whatever they have that comes out, that other fuckery. They have a Lifetime movie coming out. And I guarantee you that Lifetime movie coming out, I guarantee, I would bet money on it. It's going to show Brian like stalking the girls or something. I guarantee it. And that's going to make it even worse. And then you're going to get people that are going to come into this channel and Dago's channel and everywhere else be like, you guys are fucking assholes.
We saw the movie.
We saw the movie.
Yeah, right. We saw the movie.
What's wrong with you?
He did it.
You're trying to get out a stalker and a serial killer, and what's the matter with you?
And I will call them stupid because that's a stupid statement to say when you're going to sit and watch a damn movie from Lifetime of all places. They don't do a good job. They don't. We watched the Aaron Reed movie not so long ago, and I laughed through the whole thing. It was ridiculous how weak it was. But anyway, and you're right though. People will watch a movie and decide because it's in a movie, that's God's word. And
they're going to show him. They're going to show him as some crazy psychosexual stalker. Yep.
Well, if you just look at what I just saw with Brian Enton and then Megyn Kelly right after that, it's almost like they got a script. They both focused on the stalking and all the complaints against Koberger at WSU. But the stalking one, they made sure to emphasize that. And it's like, I wonder why they're jumping all over that when Megyn Kelly was a lawyer. She should have, I presume she watched the plea hearing and previous statements from the investigators that they had no evidence connecting Koberger to the victims.
It makes you wonder.
They said
it makes you wonder if they even really know anything. Like she really even knows anything that's going on. Like you said, she's given probably a script a half hour before the show.
Oh, they are.
Here. This is She probably doesn't
follow the money. Look at who's Megyn Kelly and Brian Enton are getting money from, and I bet you anything, it's the same people that are financing Lifetime, because you push a narrative, you reinforce the narrative, right? And it's kind of interesting how it's almost like the noise level that's calling out the fuckery is getting louder, it's getting higher. So they need to push harder with their narrative. Now, I understand for people that may not have followed the case, they maybe don't know about all the inconsistencies and things that have been disproven. I understand they don't have time to dig into things, but in their mind, that's what happened. So for the rest of their lives, they're going to watch that Lifetime movie or whatever documentaries they already watched, and that is the story.
You know what, Joe? That's a huge point. And what you said about being financed by the people that finance Lifetime, that's a huge point. And I've been thinking lately, I think I'm going to redo my outro video, my ending video when I'm done. I usually play a video afterwards with a little music and stuff. And I'm going to add in at the end of my outro video, the press conference at the end of the damn hearing where Bill Thompson is standing there denying all of the things that I think it was that one. And the two lead detectives that are denying all of these bullshit remarks that people are running with. I'm gonna let that play as my outro, or maybe it'll be my damn intro video, so everybody in the world can see these people, the ones that convicted or thought they convicted this man, are the ones saying that none of this shit's true. And at some point, it's gonna sink in somewhere. I'm hoping.
Well, I'm gonna make a prediction. 1-1. I got one for you. 1-1. I also, on top of your prediction, I predict that in that movie, Othram Labs will play a role. In that
Big
movie.
time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So here's the thing. I saw some chat. And I'm not great with the chat, but I've been watching the chat. Some people in the chat were talking about various entities in Idaho are saying they can't release certain things because the FBI is not letting them release it, kind of thing. And I need you in America to put your fucking thinking caps on for a second. If this was an incel who just murdered some chicks because he was random and had to kill people because he's a psychopath or incel, why the hell is anybody hiding anything? Why would Think about it for a second. If anyone is telling you, I won't show you the documents, I won't prove it, the FBI won't release it, why the fuck would you do that if it was just an incel? It doesn't make sense, people. There's no reason in hell why, if it was what they told you it was, that they can't just open everything open and say, here it is. It's plain and simple. Look at it. It's simple.
Right.
But it's
perfect
not simple. That's
example.
why they're hiding it.
Perfect example, Lee. The Elliot Rodgers story. Yeah. The Elliot Rodgers story that came out. There's an entire movie, a whole documentary about this. They tell you everything that happened, everything that Rodgers did. He was an incel. They tell the whole fucking story, piece by piece by piece, from beginning to end. From my understanding, there's nothing hidden or redacted there.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right.
So what's the difference with the two?
Yeah. That's why you have to. There has to be something bigger going on. Like, even if you're like, it's, I know everything now is like, well, maybe Jack D was involved or whatever, but you have to think, okay, so what's so special about Jack Decor? Like, why, if he's the jealous ex-boyfriend, what would be the reason that they would need to hide that? Like, so this.
And as I always say, you have to look at what happens as a result of things. This is another major prediction I have that we're going to see. They're going to, at some point, it's going to get into the public sphere that, man, if we had predictive policing and domestic surveillance ramped up, they could have stopped.
Happened.
The Idaho 4 murders. They could have stopped the Luigi Mangione murders. They could have stopped the Charlie Kirk murders. Mark my words. I bet my life on it. You guys can all shit on me in the chat if I'm wrong about it.
I'm with you, Joe.
Careful what you ask for. Now listen. I want you to take a shot at this question. I don't know that I 100% understand what the question is. I'm gonna take myself off screen for a moment to go grab a soda, but I don't. Okay. We've had this pinned for a while, so let's try to make an attempt to answer.
Let's see how if there is a protection for the victims that allows the prosecutor to lie about and omit their statements from public records in the case of a guilty plea. Whatever's part of the record is part of the record. They shouldn't be able, but again, if this case involves something higher of like, national security or some kind of bigger thing that's, going on, they can do whatever they want. They can lie. They can do whatever they want. Look at the crazy shit that's going on with the body camera and the sounds and whatever. I have to Dago. I know. I don't think he's not a mod, right? I want to get in contact with Senor Wachowski.
Oh, Wachowski, yeah.
Wachowski. I saw some of his videos. I had some questions.
Yeah.
He showed some pretty interesting points about the crime scene, and I was like, wow.
He's a retired Philadelphia City police officer. Yeah, he's been really hammering away with his channel.
Yeah, there's this case. I'm telling you, there's some shit. There's some shit that makes zero sense. I don't understand. Again, fundamentally, to beat a dead horse, if it's what they said it was, just a random incel that moved from Philadelphia and had to kill some people, the unprecedented level of gag order in this case, the hiding of documents, the constant sealing, the continued to this day sealing, asking the public for in excess of $20,000 to look at records, hiding behind the FBI in the case, all of that, you have to believe, makes zero sense if it was as simple of a case as they told you it was. Why would we be hiding behind all this shit? Why is it, and it gets worse, why is it that a peripherally related story of Brent Kopacka has got a new level of fuckery that's going on over there? Like, what in the living bejesus is going on in these towns?
It's like multifaceted. I heard somebody
I have to believe they're tied in somehow to each other.
Even
the fuckery that's going on in both of those have to be tied to each other, in my opinion.
Well, the Hudson Lindsau thing is huge, I think.
Yeah.
Dago, I think Dago hit it like nail in the coffin, just without even knowing any details or who was there, who he's with, and all that stuff. You pointed out. I heard you say like this thing with Hudson was labeled as an accident, right? So if it's an accident, he tripped and hit his head on a rock and then drowned in 6 inches of water or whatever the hell it was. Why can't we get any files? Why can't we see any reports? It's an accident. It's not an investigation.
There should be nothing to
What's
steal.
to hide?
Right.
Right.
And I believe there was no investigation done because there's nothing to investigate if it's an accident.
Right.
And I'm also at this point on a level where I'm going to believe I don't even think they may have done an autopsy on this. That should be, in a situation like that, it should be mandatory, in my opinion. Okay, if you look at this and say, "Oh, he fell, hit his head, and he died. He drowned in 1.5 inches of water." Okay, you should still do some sort. So, I mean, you're a police officer.
It's like mandatory. Well, I believe here in New York, in New York City, I believe it's mandatory because
if it's not natural causes,
exactly. Once it's labeled suicide, they consider it a suspicious death. So they have to, even though there may be signs, you see a pill bottle or whatever, and you're like, oh, this looks like an overdose. They still have to go through,
Exactly. Anything that here in Ohio, anything that does not seem to be natural causes, okay? If you don't walk in and it's a 15-year-old man that looks like he had a kid that had a heart attack, that's not natural causes because he's 15.
Exactly.
Now, if you walk in and there's an 85-year-old man that looks like he had a heart attack, okay, that's a different story. That's considered natural causes. So you investigate, at least a minimal investigation just to look into it. And I don't think there was any kind of investigation in Hudson's case. They just said, oh, he fell, hit his head. There's a bump there, and he drowned. and it's dumb. Like, I've never seen it.
It's insane.
So everything is sealed on it. Why is it sealed? That's what it's been blowing my mind as I didn't sleep the other night over this shit.
That's the part that makes no sense. Why would you seal something on a simple accidental drowning?
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, it's all money, man. Like I told you guys before, like 2 people drowned in the creek near where I live within 1.5 years. And in the same situation, like really shallow creek at the time. It was like winter, so the creeks get really shallow. And like there was essentially no investigation or details released to the public other than, it was just they were drunk and they just wandered into the creek. And it's just
right. I mean, do accidents?
Money.
Yeah, I mean, do accidents happen? Can weird things happen? Yes, they can. But it's
Robin,
you extra stuff.
Yeah,
go ahead, Robin.
I want to know, Amanda, are you talking about Hudson with this comment, honey?
Yes, I think so.
Because
that was in May 2022, Hudson Lindo.
There was, there was. I knew that too. I'm just saying, it makes me believe like there was actually no autopsy done, the way they handled everything else. But Amanda's right, and thank you, Amanda.
Okay, all right. I was confused. Thank you.
No, she's right, but it just makes me feel like they didn't. They just said, "Yeah, we did one," but they really didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you can't get the records. So how do we really know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and like we've talked about, the school, and I've been saying this for a long time, has a lot of sway over the MPD for sure, and so that's a pretty powerful force that's going to have an impact on what investigations get done, or at the very least, what gets released to the public, because they don't want parents who are thinking about sending their kids to school there to find out that a bunch of murders are happening in that area. So they have to come up with an alternative answer. Right. And that trumps everything. Like we're regular people, right? Like I could never just lie like that over money. But we're people, and institutions lie. That's all they do is lie if something is going to hurt their bottom line.
Right.
Yeah. And I told you guys before, go ahead, Joe. Early.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, you're right. The university having a vested interest to lie about how dangerous things might be at their college because they want people to send their kids there. Same kind of thing you said, Joe, in Vail, Colorado. If you've got a major community that relies on tourist income, you don't want people to believe that there's a serial killer that's dumping bodies in the area. So you lie about deaths that are in the area, because if it gets out in the paper that it's not safe to go there, you're going somewhere else that year for vacation. So you can't have people not sending people to your town that lives on tourist dollars. So you just lie about the story. These places are incentivized to lie about the murders because it costs the town money if people don't send their people there.
Austin, right? Dago, we talked about this, the Austin situation.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Police forever. Bodies are just left and right.
Yeah.
Found in Lady Bird Lake.
No foul play. No foul play.
No foul play. No serial killer. It's ridiculous.
Nothing.
But, UT Austin and Austin, major money-making things. So, that's what goes on, man. That's the way the game really works.
There was one of the... sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, just real quick, let's just address Jules Down Under. Thank you so much for gifting memberships to our people out here. That's a fantastic gift. Again, for those who don't understand, I say this almost every time someone does this. She paid for your membership, and it's randomly assigned. Rashida has no control. I have no control over who gets those memberships. You just have to have it turned on that you're allowed to get them. And then when she does it, if you have that option turned on, you get randomly assigned and you can get one of these. But Jules had to pay. Jules Down Under had to pay for your membership for the month. So thank her and thank you from our channel as well for gifting some people some membership. There's lots of cool members only content. So sorry to digress, but I wanted to shout that out real quick.
No, absolutely. A very important topic there. Very important.
Here, by the way, as a side tangent, did we go to the Corner Club? Yes. Let's talk about that in a minute. We'll get back to the Corner Club. I wanted to digress shortly on this whole. We talked about it a minute ago, and I'm trying to remember what the thing was. But the whole in the case of Lisk, Shannon Gilbert went missing in 2010, and law enforcement almost immediately said it was an accidental drowning. She stripped off her clothes. She got hypothermia. She got confused. She stripped off her clothes and she drowned in a shallow water out in this marsh. End of story. She drowned. It was an accident. That's what they said. Almost immediately, an accident. And for, I think it was 4 or 5 years, John Ray, the attorney for the family, fought and could not get copies of the 911 tape because they said it was an ongoing investigation. And as he said and I said, how the fuck can it be an ongoing investigation if you've already told us she drowned by an accident? Where's the investigation?
Right.
How do you simultaneously tell the public it was an accident and then say you don't get access to the records because it's an ongoing investigation? Investigating what? You said it was an accident. And this is the fuckery, as Joe would say.
And Dr. Baden.
These departments run.
And Dr. Baden involved in that. Dr. Baden is like, he's one of the quintessential, forensic, pathologists or whatever. He said that it's not 100%, but that the hyoid bone broken in her neck.
Right.
When that bone breaks,
it's signs of strangulation.
Saying it's not 100%, but he.
And there was no evidence of drowning. And there was no evidence of drowning.
And there's no evidence of drowning. Right.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the tide wasn't right.
Let's address like everything about that wasn't right. And yet they told everybody in the public, it's a drowning, but we won't let you look into it because it's an ongoing investigation. How the hell do you even, how is it that it's not that we're not smart enough. We are smart enough to know that those two things don't make sense, but they just hide behind it. It took years for them to break. They finally did break the 911 call. And by the way, we played it before and it's shocking because she clearly said people are trying to kill her that night and then she ends up dead. How'd that accidentally happen? Did she accidentally imagine that she was going to get killed and then end up
not an accident by no means.
I'm off on a side tangent. I want to talk about that Corner Club thing. Yes. Joe and I didn't go into the Corner Club, but later my wife and I went back, Rhonda, and we did go into the Corner Club. And Dago has his own story about how he's kind of related to somebody who went into the Corner Club. But yeah, I had the same experience that Dago has told before. When we went into the Corner Club, I gotta say, this is just anecdotal. Everyone in Idaho was super nice. Hey, everybody's super nice.
Pretty much.
Everybody was. It was super nice. But the weirdest place on the planet, comparatively, was the Corner Club. We walked in, everybody turned and stared at us, and they stared at us until we left. We felt so uncomfortable. We're like, well, maybe we should just go get a drink somewhere else, because we felt immediately unwelcome there. It was just a creepy vibe. Everybody was staring at us until we just like, I think we're just going to go somewhere else.
Well, imagine if both you and I went in there, dude. That
right?
Very weird.
Or if a group of us that are actually out here would have went in there, holy shit, they brought out the whole cavalry for that shit. But they did the same thing for Rory. Okay, you guys remember Rory, boots on the ground. He was all over out there. And he went in, he had his laptop under his arm. Lots of people do that. And went up to the bar and ordered a drink. And it was not just a cheap old beer. It was an expensive drink in a glass, because he's a foofy person, I guess. It is what it is. And he goes out to the back patio. And he sits down and he opens his laptop. He could be working, having his drink. He was on with all of us. We were sitting there watching live with him, and we were streaming it from there. And there were people, like you said, he walked in, everybody turned and stared at him like he was had a big mole right in the middle of his forehead or something,
Right.
It was very uncomfortable, and he sits down and he's looking around, and there's some dude pulling a Wilson behind the fence staring at him like this, okay? Just staring at him, and then other people just staring at him, and he's taking his drink, looking around. Next thing you know, this guy walks up to him that he didn't know, and taps him on the shoulder.
And says, get the fuck out.
You need to leave. And he goes, excuse me? And he goes, you need to leave. And he goes, I have a drink. He goes, get the fuck out. The guy took the drink and dumped it, set the glass on the table, and almost put his hand to walk him out. Roy, closed his laptop, and the guy shut the laptop. Okay, if I remember correctly. And he stands up, and that was the end of it. He went dead. Of course, it cuts out power, and they walked him out the bar to the front of the street. And he goes, "What the hell's going on here? I come in here as a patron to buy a drink. Blah blah blah. We know who the fuck you are. You need to get the fuck out, and don't fucking come back here." Those words exactly. And he said that he remembered that when he saw the guy on the other side of the fence, he recognized him as he thought as one of the football players that he had seen from U of I. And the guy kind of nodded to somebody and looked over at Rory like that's the guy or some shit like that. And then he said it was watching it creeped me out. Okay. And hearing what the guy was saying was just wild to me. It freaked me out. And he had more than one reaction to people like that out there. So
yeah, when we went,
it's crazy.
VA when we went to Moscow, look, I don't want to stir any shit. We're gonna be here for a couple of days, 3, 4, whatever it was, back and forth, a couple of different times. Mm-hmm. We just want to scope, get some footage, check the place out, be there in person. I didn't want to be, making conspicuous shit. I just didn't feel good about it. And that's the last thing I wanted, was to just cause any drama. And so we kind of just kept to ourselves for the most part and drove around and filmed shit and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I think we consciously didn't do certain things for that very reason.
Yeah. Right. We didn't want we didn't want to stir shit. And but real quick, I want to make sure we don't let too much go by, because when we got people that are donating money to, I want to address these comments.
Yeah, thank you, Ange. So very, very much. Or wait, this is yours, not mine. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's yours. That's yours. No, is it? It's
mine?
No, it's ours.
That's yours. Yeah, sorry.
It's ours. And by the way, I'm going to leave it at this. I'm going to be brief. I must have some kind of dyslexia, because the first time I read this sentence, it does not fucking read the same way that I read it in my mind. So I'm just going to leave it at that. But I agree. We talked about this, about checking pulses. How is it, in the Idaho 4 case, that the EMTs were turned away at the door and not allowed to go in there and see if there's any potential survivors that are breathing shallow and maybe holding on by a thin thread? Why is it that they didn't at least do...
Never seen that before. Never.
Bullshit.
It's crazy.
That's never happened to me on a.
And another comment. So thank you, by the way, for the donation to the channel. That helps a lot, and I appreciate that very, very much. Another donation here was asking the question. Speaking of ongoing investigations, how have we not heard anything about the Idaho 4 leak? Which leak? Like, there's a million. She's
talking about the prosecutor's leak. What they brought in the special prosecutor for. Stuff and all that. That's the one that they're.
Yes,
I have that same question. We haven't heard shit about that. Nothing.
Nope.
Yeah. So yes, if you're talking about this is, oh my gosh, let me make sure we're talking about the same thing. When that Dateline NBC thing came out, I thought Hitler was pissed. Hitler was pissed, and he said, and he was and it was the only moment I've seen in writing, because again, they don't shout and yell like I do when I get pissed. They do it through writing. But his writing was very clear. He said, I want to find out who, basically, here's how I'm going to reinterpret it. He said, I want to know whose ass leaked shit to the press. I want to know their name immediately. Anybody who takes any efforts to try to hide who leaked this to the press, you're going to be in trouble. Somebody may be losing their job or going to jail for this, was basically what Hitler's response was.
Yes.
It was super pissed off. It was like, who leaked this to the press? And if you make any attempt to hide who leaked it to the press, you're going to be in trouble for that as well. And then crickets. Not a fucking thing.
Let me add to that, Lee. He pointed that at the prosecution and sent the defense a letter that said basically, make sure your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed, and watch your back. Okay, he sent him both a document, but it was pointed at the prosecution. And then he looked at Bill Thompson and said, "Mr. Thompson, I'm going to task you." I still can't believe this, Mr. Thompson. I'm going to task you with what the hell was the word he used? I can't remember, but getting the special prosecutor to look into this. What the fuck? What?
Yeah. How is that fair? Like,
yeah.
That's like arresting somebody for robbing a grocery store and then saying, you know what, sir? I think I'm going to need you to prosecute yourself since our prosecutor's out with the flu this week, and you can prosecute yourself. It's the same shit to me. I mean, what are you doing?
Right. And
it was a joke, and he was he was so mad with the way he wrote the letter. I thought for sure we were going to see something, and then it just died. It just never again did we hear anything about anybody being held accountable. For a moment, I thought one of the attorneys got fired, wasn't allowed to be on stand because all of a sudden you saw who was it that all of a sudden wasn't coming to the stand anymore? Jennings
stopped showing up for a little while.
Jennings stopped showing up for a while. So I thought, well, maybe she got reprimanded or something. But
and then the only other thing we heard is that he was keeping things sealed that were in relation to that stupid investigation that we've seen nothing from. That's all he's done is keep more shit hidden. So,
and then they had that hidden proceeding, right?
Yeah, the ex parte thing. Yeah,
went at Steve G, and that's where Steve G said, "Well,
I'm going to need you to stop talking to the media, and I don't think I can do that." And he said, well, we're not going to trial.
So that we won't have a trial.
Yeah.
And
then we're just not going to have a trial like that.
Right.
That's kind of convenient, though, isn't it, gentlemen and lady? Just saying that now there's no trial. And then he looked at it. How would you have balls big enough? Excuse me, Robin, for saying this, but how could you have balls big enough to look at somebody who has lost their child and say, you think it's going to bring her back, Steve? The cojones to say something like that as a judge? Are you kidding me? Come on now.
Yeah.
That's sickening to me. Absolutely.
I'm losing my mind.
Another thing I saw recently, I know it's like so much stuff that it's like every other day some other thread, something else comes out. I know you're probably aware of it, Dago. I don't know if you covered it, but yes, the threads. I see this thing about it was a campus security guy from WSU that wound up, he was like forced to get like fired, forced to resign or something. There was some kind of sexual allegation. And then there was like another 2 or 3.
Oh no, there was it was a police sergeant that was the initial that he was.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Police, yeah,
well, that's what I'm talking about from WSU, right?
Yeah, multiple officers was sexual.
And then there were other people who may have been involved that before they could be investigated, just like resigned.
The chief, the assistant chief, and the captain, they all quit and resigned before they could be reprimanded for it. That shouldn't be allowed, you guys. You should not be
No.
allowed to resign from your position just to avoid punishment. Miss me with that bullshit.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Well, especially like that, like abusing,
Yes.
having that kind of power where you can you have the ability to take someone's freedom away.
Right.
You're not talking about, a mailman, it's like
Yeah, they were allowed to resign. They weren't forced. They were allowed, and that's a bigger problem for me because you're avoiding. Okay, it's just let's not to jump subjects, but it's the same thing.
and that was 2022, right? I think it was right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and there's more recently that have had issues over there. Same thing this past year, I believe. But that takes us back to when they leaked the information, the photographs of Brian when he first went to prison, and then they figured out who it was, and that person resigned. So there's no punishment for that. Are you fucking kidding me? How does that happen, you guys? Like, somebody tell me this. There's a man that worked for the prison system that Brian was in that leaked a picture of Brian or more.
Right.
And they figured out who it was, but he resigned. So therefore there's not going to be any punishment. How is that? What planet do we live on?
Yeah, because that's the clever way they get away with a lot of stuff. If they know that something's going to come out, key people who like, look, if you're getting close to retire and you're still there and they find out you did something illegal, you could lose your entire retirement. Everything that you've worked for could go flush down the toilet. But guess what? If you voluntarily retire early and cash out, then what they do is like, hey, look, we're not going to go after that guy because he no longer works here. So he gets to keep his pension. He gets to keep everything. He walks away with his career intact. And we're just going to say, you know what? It's been resolved because he doesn't work here anymore. Not a problem. It's been taken care of. He doesn't work anymore. How about if he had been there, he would have been fired. He would have lost his pension, the whole fucking thing. But they don't ever do that. And so the fact that everybody in Idaho seems to be fucking leaving Idaho after the Brian Koberger case should tell you something. Everybody's fucking bailing because they don't want to be there when shit hits the fan and all of a sudden careers are getting lost and the pensions are going down the toilet and they get fucking nothing. So they just retire and they'll be like, hey, we took care of it. That guy doesn't even work here anymore. That's
just bullshit. And I'm sorry. I can't. Why did nobody go after that situation and push that either, Thank you, Ann, so much. I didn't want you to feel left out. I appreciate that. Love your channel too. The combo of you and DA's team is a huge treat. Thank you so much, Ann. We appreciate you very much.
That was super cool. Super cool.
Yes, very cool. How is nobody going after that situation? They're just letting it be what it is. I don't understand that. I don't get what this is a different planet.
Well, that kind of thing, they definitely want to try to keep under wraps because you're dealing with people in power who, like I said, have the ability, to hold people and take away freedom from people, and anything involved with sexual stuff. I feel unless they absolutely, they have no way, they're going to try to hide. They're going to the campus is going to try to hide. They don't want anything sexual coming out ever. If it's
but that's even worse because the students on campus look to them for security and safety to make, and then those are the ones that are that are eliminating that or not eliminating, but
exactly.
Use of power bad.
Absolutely.
Well, and these universities, they should not be allowed to tell students who are victims of sexual assault, you have to come to us before you go to the police. That is bullshit.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. That you can't go or you're made to feel nuts or crazy or whatever by going to the police. Well, they're going to the police for a reason. I mean, but because the almighty dollar, like you're saying, you don't want to have anything like that attached to the university.
But then look at the Idaho, look at the college. They have they have a contract with with MPD. So even if they had a student that went to MPD complaining about a sexual crime, it's going to go right back to the campus anyway. And
well, they don't have a contract with the state police, so you could go to the staties
or anybody else. Anybody else.
Well, they can't tell somebody. I highly doubt you know, if somebody wanted to report a crime and they went, say, to, like you said, Robin, the state police, like, what are they going to do to you? You can't get in trouble for doing that. They're just not going to be happy about it. You know, that you went, you didn't follow their protocol. That's what they want you to do.
Right.
And they probably make a lot of people and students and families probably don't question it because they don't think of the significance of it, you know, and they'll always try to steer people. The power structure of anything, any place, on any level, will always try to steer people towards what they would like for you to do. And they imply, just like DA was talking about earlier, the way they say things, they shape things to make you think like,
control. Yeah.
Yes, this is fat. Oh, you have to do it. This is the protocol. Well, it's bullshit, you know, obviously. That kind of thing is bullshit.
Definitely.
I'll be right back,
got
guys.
Another big donation here. Yeah. What we need to do is go back and figure out all of the people who retired, resigned, or transferred during the 3 years of this case and find out what part they played in the investigation. Mama Jay's, Mama Jay has a great point. Would it be, there's nothing illegal about this. Would it be bad to just post somewhere a posting of all the names of people who retired and resigned right after this case? We're not saying anything. We're not implying anything. Hey, we're just going to play the same game. We didn't say anything. All we did was just tell you, here's all the people who resigned and retired after this. We're not saying what that means. You just
you need more to that. To that list, you also need people who mysteriously die or vanish, and you also need people who all of a sudden mysteriously get a bump in promotion or some kind of position. That is a huge thing.
Okay.
Like,
I'm putting on the to-do list. We're gonna put a page on my website.
One of these people involved in the case, all of a sudden, like within a short period of time, seems to have some kind of high prominent position. Like, what did they do? You know, what did they do to qualify for that? So
and that's a big one.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this for Mama. It was Mama J, right? I'm going to do this for Mama J. We're going to create a page. I realize my website's not super trafficked, but devilsadvocates.info. I'm going to put a page on there that we can forever link to that'll list all of the retirees, all of the I resigned, I quit, I retired, I transferred to another department, who got promoted. We're just gonna make a list of those things. We're not even gonna say what that means. We're just gonna list all the people within an X number of period of time that transferred, moved, resigned, took a different position, left town right after Dodge, and we'll just keep a running list of that.
And I think that's a huge thing, because definitely, just
Well, we had Rosenthal that left 3 days after the crime happened.
Someone would tend to look. Some people easily would tend to look away or keep their mouth shut. It's like, hey, you're gonna get a bump in promotion. We're gonna make you, do this. So, and that goes along with money, obviously, and power. Yeah.
Isn't it kind of like knocking the house down, and it's kind of like the Charlie Kirk murder paving over the crime scene 2 days later?
Well, that's normal. That's normal.
That's totally normal. There's nothing suspicious about any of that. Police officers, like right after this, probably the biggest crime in Idaho history, or one of them, if I'm sure, that were involved in the case, just, it's a good time to leave town.
We should add.
My understanding, if I remember, just real quick, I don't know 100% offhand. I believe Rosenthal. I know he was like a newer officer that had transferred he was kind of new in the area.
My understanding. I heard a rumor.
I believe, if I could be wrong, so someone could correct. I know I'll be corrected in the chat if I'm giving wrong info. So don't hold me to the fire. I believe Rosenthal got like cop of the year, or he was like rookie of the year, and then got cop of the year, I think, the year after, which is
I was going to add that to the list. People that got awards and special recommendations, because Mowry got something. I want to say that the 911 operator, I believe she got something that year from that as well. A whole bunch of people got awarded for being shitty at what they do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes. I'm gonna make a comprehensive list. By the way, there's so many things I want to do. I'm redesigning once again all of the timelines and all of my cases for my website to make them prettier and laid out better. But I'm going to put all this stuff on there. I really believe that in what I started, it hasn't been widely received, but I really believe in what I started. I want to have these cases that each have a timeline and all the pertinent dates and times that things happened, including all the transfers, all the monies, all the payouts, all of the grants that were given, the $1 million grant that was given to WSU to find a killer in the case, all of that stuff. We're going to list that on our timeline and accentuate. And I'm going to highlight. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight in green the follow the money trail, so that you see in green all the places where money was paid out, where somebody got a promotion, somebody got a grant, somebody got money. That's always interesting. But anyways, I've got it on my to-do list. Like, we have enough things to do already as a team behind the scenes, but I got a growing list. This is what I do now. So
don't worry.
This is crazy.
Don't worry, Robin and I'll handle it. No.
Yeah, it's all right. This is crazy. Mallory
along
was
that line,
awarded the digital excellence by the Secret Service. What the?
No. Tell me that's
God,
not true.
come on now.
I
That's
don't
awesome.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt Senior was. Come on, tell me that's
No,
not true.
no, I believe Senior Wazowski. I mean, but I'm just like, by the Secret Service. Well, they've not been. No, don't even get me started on
There's
that.
nothing
shit.
suspicious about that.
Yeah, you had nothing at all. Oh my God.
So stop. I want to stop for a second. I don't know if this person's serious, but I want to bring this up. So I want to say this. We are in need of some volunteers on our channel. We've got a million administrative type things. Some cutting and I got a lot of cutting and pasting that has to be done on my website. Stuff that we already have in notes and different places that just need to be formatted. I need somebody with some WordPress experience. We need some volunteers. So if there's anybody out there who loves true crime and wants to help, I've got a fuck ton of little shit that's just falling through the cracks. So we are always looking for help. And if you're interested in helping, write to us at contact@devilsadvocates.info. Reach out to us, because we've got things and we'd love to get help. We really need some help. So,
or come to Discord.
Or you can go to our Discord.
Yeah.
In the Discord, there's a channel in there called
How Can I Help?
Volunteer Opportunities. So you can always go to the Discord and just stick in there what it is you think you could help with, So we're not too proud or too shy. So
Tesdale got Officer of the Year. Why did he get Officer of the Year? For keeping his mouth closed?
Yeah,
that's what happens, man.
Yeah, I know.
You're a good soldier, and you play the game. You get rewarded. That's literally.
Exactly
one. You know this.
Yeah.
That's why I think that Brett Payne was awarded for purposely doing a shitty job. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. People sometimes fail upwards.
If you're somebody that can keep secrets and toe the line, I mean, that's career advancement, unfortunately.
I couldn't live with myself. Like seriously, I couldn't do it.
Well, thankfully for that.
Somebody's by the way, somebody's giving praise to Amanda. Amanda is amazing, you guys. Amanda is amazing. She's one of our documents and records queens. When we need something, I'll be like, "Hey, Amanda, do you know where it said that?" She's like, "Hold on, give me 5 minutes. I'll get it for you." She provides me a link and shit. I wish there was a way that we could show more love to Amanda. At the moment, all the love I can do to is say, Amanda, thank you so much for everything you do. I wish that we could replicate 10 of you because we need that kind of help. So thank you.
She helps with over in my community too, you guys. She's
like
I know we're not the only channel she helps. I know.
She's joined our Discord. Like a lot of our people joined our Devil's Advocate too, but she's joined our Discord and she's very helpful with documents and stuff. And it's amazing. She's an amazing person. Period.
Can I just chime in about Amanda?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was the new guy with Lee when we went to Moscow, and I've never met Amanda in person. I feel like she's like my sister. We like fight and pick on each other. But Amanda's a rock star, man. She was like on top of shit when we were doing those member live streams. I would say something, and like 10 seconds later, she'd have like information about it in the chat. That's why she was busting my chops about reading the chat.
Yeah.
So
I
tip my hat to you, Amanda.
I probably talked to Amanda a few times during the day. She's always anything that I have with documents or anything. I'm like, I feel bad sometimes. I'm like, Amanda, do you know about this document or whatever? And like within like 5 minutes, she's like, oh, here. I'm like, this is like amazing. How did you find like it? She's like an encyclopedia.
Yeah, she sends me stuff too on Discord.
I think she caught, there was a quick, and I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong. The way I understood it is there was a quick drop in the documents last night, and then they pulled it back again on one of the documents, and she caught it.
Yeah.
I don't know how she does this shit. I don't know how she does this.
Dude, I'm telling you, listen, well, Mama J, I'm going to get to your donation and your comment in a minute. So thank you so much for the support on that. I want to say, as we're all talking to Amanda, I'm reminded again, first of all, there are other people out there who donate their time and help and stuff.
Big
so
time,
if you're one of those unsung heroes that aren't getting recognized, I apologize. But one thing is becoming clear is like Amanda's helping fucking everybody. She's helping other channels. We're not the only channel she helps. I wish there was a way that we could all take care of Amanda. Amanda is a rock star, and if I can do anything to help her be more successful, I will. The only thing I want to say, I want to make this clear to people. I want to say this clear. We are not rolling in the money. So for those people who think that I'm getting rich off of people like Amanda who are doing all my work for me, you don't understand. We're running negative. I don't want to get into the finances, but we're running negative. We spend far more money on this channel than we make. So don't think that we're all fucking a bunch of rich sons of bitches earning money and making money off other people's pain and then taking people for granted and breaking Amanda's back to do all this work. This is all a labor of love for all of us. It takes money to run these channels, and we're way away from being able to be super profitable. We're not profitable at all. In fact, we're not profitable. We're not profitable. So not to talk money. The point being is that I want so badly to help people financially, but I can't even support ourselves right now.
Can't help ourselves.
I don't know how to help these people.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you guys. The same with the Blue Crew. They're all like Amanda, and Amanda's just like all of them. They're all very much amazing. They all serve their purpose. They do this, and I hate to say this. I don't like speaking for them, but they do it because they want to. They do it because they love all of us within the channels and each other. Okay, they do it because they want to do it. As hard as it is that to do. I'm like Lee. I would love to be able to hand out paychecks to people all the time. I can't even get myself one.
Yeah,
so, you know what I mean.
Right.
So, no, I love like Amanda and Esty and all of the Blue Crew. They do amazing things. I could not, and I say this daily. I would not. This channel would not be here without them, and it couldn't without them. Period. End of story. So.
Dago, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Lee gives excellent bologna sandwiches. I know. You know. me and Robin love them. They're tasty.
Hey.
Sometimes he gives mustard too. It's tasty mustard. So.
Yeah. Once in a while, for special occasions.
We're not even gonna go down there. So, Mama J, how does somebody retire from the police department twice? I don't know. How does? There's probably technicalities how you can do that. I don't know. Oh my gosh, fried bologna. I know we've gone on a thing, but I do want to say simultaneously, yes, we need help. I need some administrative help, some cutting and pasting and just some basic stuff that somebody knows how to do some basic copy paste stuff. But again, we can't afford to pay anybody. I know Dago's in the same position because I know the size of our channels are very similar. So I kind of have an idea what things are for you. And like, we're not doing well, right?
We're not at all. No, I wish.
Yeah. So anyways, for what it's worth, it was a great opportunity. I'm glad that Amanda got so much love. I do hope that other people out there are other people, by the way, I know by name, I could list Cat Farm, Cat's Mojo, and on our channel, other people, there's others as well. There's people that do a lot of work, little stuff every single day that don't get recognized, but at least we give a little bit of shout out from time to time. So thank you so much. For
And there's
all of
some
that
funny
support.
ass people in the chat too, man. I have to throw that out there. There really is some funny people, man, that drop some bombs every once in a while that make me laugh my ass off.
I wish I could read all of them. Yeah, but
Gonna have to go back to bologna. Yep.
So let's just start now going back to bologna. Yeah. Oh my gosh. By the way, Joe, I don't see another thing. Here's another thing, Joe, I could use help on. I swear to God, I hear you. I believe you. I need to show the footage of the Moscow pulling into the parking lot.
Dude, you're dropping
funny,
the
right?
ball with that, dude. That is one of the funniest fucking things.
Oh my God. And you know what one I want you to do? I want you to show the one where you and Joe are trying to set up the frickin' ass camera with the laptop at the same time, and the fucking chair keeps falling over and the table. I laugh so hard.
Right.
Are you guys
but
trying to get that all set up that night?
This is the thing that also gets me. Like, I've got tons of footage from New York. I got a ton of raw footage from New York that I haven't even got to, which was before that trip. Like, and it's just, again, volunteers. We're sitting on gold mines of, and now I'm recording with a drone, and I'm going to be recording flying footage with the drone. We're going to have more footage coming than we could possibly process. We need help.
Dude, it's
at the time where we need to beg for volunteers.
Some of the shit from Moscow though was hilarious though. Like that stuff is like comic relief, man. To lighten, we might need to get that out to like lighten the mood a little bit when shit's getting dark and hairy and we're all pissed off. You know, you like we were doing with the pretty much.
Even before that, you guys were hysterical. Even with the makeshift camera holder that you
the birdseed camera holder.
The bird
Joe is
camera,
like Joe is holding the camera out the window or whatever, and you're like yelling at him like.
Well, I'm trying to do this.
Yeah, you need to apologize to people for your shitty fucking camera.
Well, I'm trying to talk to the chat while he's driving, and the birdseed camera keeps falling off the dashboard. And I have to now. I'm responsible for the birdseed camera too, so it was a little chaotic. I'm not gonna lie.
And I agree. Like here's a comment. When I mistakenly stole an e-bike in New York City and drove it for blocks and drove my stolen e-bike to the police department in Central Park, that shit was hilarious. Like we played a clip of that on Birdie's show and people were fucking rolling. And so I know it's priceless moments. We've got on camera some priceless moments, but I just don't have time to edit it all.
We have them over here too, because I have two people. One of them is my amazing and lovely co-host. You guys don't get to see often because she's always working. Miss Mama Bear and Molly. And now everybody else has jumped on. They clip every mistake I make. Every fucking mistake I make. They have it clipped, and then in a week or so I get this check Discord, Dago, and I open it up and it's my mistake that I've done or what I've said or some just stupid shit that I do constantly. I do it a lot, guys, just so you know. But they're very good at reminding me of it and recording it. They have lots of fun with it too. I'll just tell you that much. So lots of fun.
Oh, I'm looking into the answer. So somebody asked me if my drone, the new drone that I have, can fly preset flights from KML or KMZ files. And yes, my drone can do that, by the way. So I have a Protensic Atom 2, and it does allow you to load in preset flights. So if you've got something in mind, let me know. I think what they mean, I'm brand new to drone flying, but I got my certificate. But some people can basically have programmed their drone and done a flight, and basically they can share that flight pattern with you, and you can put it into your drone and it'll just go fly that same path. You go to where they say to start, you put in the thing and you hit go, and your drone will go fly the same path they told you to go. So I believe that my drone can do that as well. So if there's something out there that you think would be cool, let me know.
Yeah, I see
those drones, by the way, those drones are going to be a big thing in the future. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
His drone is still bigger than mine, folks.
So this comment,
and that's sad because it's really a small drone as it is. I don't know if I'd be saying that too often.
I got a dinky drone. It's just a little thing. So
well, fair, It's fair.
Yeah, we're not really sure what this means. I've seen a few people talking about it, a few places. I have seen
strange stuff written on Dylan's forearms.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen when she's
right.
doing her body cam interaction. It's down the side of her arm.
Right. So apparently, there's one FBI guy. There's an FBI guy or something named Gideon. There's also there's a student, I think, that has the name Gideon. We don't really know what it means, but yeah, I have seen it. She has it on her arm.
It would be nice to know if it means something of importance, though.
Right. Well, I mean, it has to mean something. I mean, why would she write it? You know, she's got it on her arm, but exactly what?
Right.
Yeah. So there's my mind's a mess. I was sitting there. I got sidetracked with the whole my drone.
I gotta tell you, Lee, I did see that whole like the 10-minute video or whatever that you allowed me and Robin to see with the drone flying.
The drone flight, yeah.
Yeah, it was like amazing landscape. I'm jealous. I think I want to build a house over there. It was amazing.
I went.
Oh, it's a
DA's lair, man. I was there in person. It's pretty dope out there.
I didn't even get to take you out to the lake that I photographed in the barn that I photographed with the drone. I know it sounds arrogant, but I was sitting, even my wife was like, holy crap, people are going to be jealous when they see where we live. Cause it's fucking beautiful. And today the lake was like glass. So you had these snowy mountains and the lake is like glass. And I was flying it right. I was kind of flying along the water and I was like, oh my God, this is like freaking Hallmark postcard shit. It's just fucking amazing.
And the video, the video you had, was that your actual first time like flying it, or did you
that's my first day of flying.
The video was like crystal clear. It was like
it
amazing.
Is. It's 4K recording. I think I peed myself a little bit when I put it up in the air and I saw the video. I was like, I think I pissed myself. I was like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing. Like this is but listen, let me tell you one thing that's super cool. Sorry, Dago. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to brag about
You know what? You can have the bigger drone. I got bigger meatballs, bro. Leave it there.
Hey, I've got a friend that's got giant meatballs. And,
it is what it is. I'm just teasing.
But listen, here's what's cool, right? Listen to this. I don't know it's 100% true, but Monin High Bridge in Delphi is a dangerous bridge to cross.
Yes.
I can fly my drone at an angle looking down at those slats and the broken boards and where you could fall through and fly along the top of the bridge without having to kill myself walking across the bridge, which, by the way, is restricted anyways, and you can't walk across it.
Awesome.
Technically.
Well, you can probably go out on that platform and fly there, can't you? That platform they put in?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that'd be a really interesting view.
Can you and you can probably zoom in too, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh hell, you could almost probably land on the bridge if you were good enough and like get really low photographs of the bridge itself. I would think, like close-ups. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think somebody was asking real quick about the brand. I put it in the chat. I got a Potensic Atom 2 is the brand of the drone that I got. And as typical with guys, you never think your drone's big enough. So I'm already wishing I got a bigger drone. I think that's kind of a male thing. But we'll see what happens. But anyways, it's gonna work. And in fact it's amazing. It's amazing. It really is.
I'm super excited for the stuff you're going to be able to do for it. Honestly, I can't wait to see some of the stuff you get to do.
Yeah. Now,
I'm surprised
if your drone footage happens to show up on one of my book covers, don't be surprised.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you got me inspired, DA. I've been looking at drones because mine is ancient, and I started shopping around for both camera setups.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
And drone setups.
I got to send you, remind me if I forget, Joe, I'll send you a link to I made an 8-minute video of my first flights with the drone. If you want to see some footage, it's amazing.
For sure, dude,
I can't share the
definitely.
link here because we're a monetized channel and I will get in trouble for flying commercially until I get my license. My license should be approved here in a few days. And then I can fly and show it to you, but I can't show you the link right now publicly, but I can do it because it was recreational flight. I just can't show the link on a monetized channel, but.
So let me ask you a question.
DA, I have the exact same. What was that? I have the exact same view, only it's Lake Washington. I look across the Cascade Mountain Range and also Mount Range. Yes, I lived in that area. I used to live in Everett. I drove to Seattle all the time, and I used to walk Lake Union all the time and see the planes land on the water there. They used to take off right there with the what do they call those, the floaty planes. Anyways, I love that area, and you're right, everything around there is super beautiful, and so it's that same kind of view, only without all the city, which is kind of cool. Like it's just wilderness, which makes it even kind of a little cooler in a way. But yeah, I love that view there as well. What else do we got in chat? Any other things going on here?
Everybody's really talking. I mean,
we're pretty free flowing tonight. Your city doesn't offer footage permits. What is this? Your city doesn't offer footage permits. We have guys here that get permits to use the footage. You have to email it somewhere to YouTube. Cryptic, but it's something. So real quick, for those who want a lesson in this kind of thing. So I think it's 18 CFR Part 107 is a commercial pilot license. You have to have a commercial pilot's license in order to film drone footage for commercial purposes, and that includes a YouTube channel. So there might be a special permit, maybe you can get, but in a few days I will have the ability to even remotely make money off of a video footage, because that's what they're worried about is suspect. Yeah, suspect drone number 1. You can be suspect drone number 2. Yeah. So
I don't know. I don't know if you'll be able to.
About that. Yeah.
I don't know if you'll be able to see mine next to his, so it'd be different anyway.
Oh, the jokes that we do on this. It's a good thing AI can't figure out sexual innuendo, because we'd probably be in trouble.
Probably.
Anyway,
wow, they don't.
Yeah.
No, truly, honest to God, from
by the way,
mine is literally, and I'm not being funny now, I'm being dead serious. My drone is like this big. Okay, it's just a tiny little thing.
Yeah.
And it's got some really pathetic generic ass camera on it that doesn't move. It's just straightforward. So I definitely need to upgrade on mine. Most definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, and they are very cool. I think the technology is going to keep getting better. So I'm sure that you're going to get more bang for your buck the more drones that come out. But
yes. And Fizzy, I don't know if does yours have clip-on fog lights, Lee?
Does not have clip-on fog lights. No, unfortunately. Gotcha. I know it's a thing apparently, and of course, Koberger would have done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
You gotta laugh sometimes. I agree, especially with this case.
DA, have you been to Redfish Lake, a little lake here in Idaho? I have not been to Redfish Lake. By the way, as an aside, and I realize I hope this doesn't bother people, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho is a big part of this case, right? In my early days, in fact, for shits and giggles, while you guys are talking, I entered a photography contest with a shot from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho that I'm going to share in a minute. So I used to be big into photography, and so long before I think the Idaho 4 murders, I took a nice shot from Coeur d'Alene. I'll pull it up while we're bullshitting here and see if I can find it for you real quick.
I want to go back to Coeur d'Alene.
So go ahead and talk while I get it.
I want to try to go back to Coeur d'Alene maybe this summer at some point, because it's beautiful there. It's just, we were there, it was rainy,
it is
cold and shitty weather, and it seems like a beautiful place, man. It'd be a great place to go in the summertime.
Oh, that's what that means?
Summertime. What?
So
Mackenzie looked up the Gideon.
Yeah, she looked up the Gideon thing, and says that it means in of course fraternity or sorority texting or context is the Greek-like influence in a college or social context. It may symbolize affiliation or common values shared with fraternity or sorority. So like some fraternities and sororities are kind of like brother to sister. Right. I can't remember who is who. Like what is it? Sigma Chi is like a brother fraternity to, is it Delta
Phi?
Delta Phi? Is it Delta Phi? Maybe those two are like kind of
I think,
in that sense. Yeah. So that would be interesting. That's an interesting take on that, Mackenzie. Thank you.
This is the shot I took from Coeur d'Alene, by the way. So I was big into photography, and so they had these blue canopies where all the boats would go, and I squatted down low and got the reflection of the clouds off of in between the blue canopies. Not as good of a photo as it should have been, but it scored really high in this competition. And
it looks really good though.
As you can see, I think I got 12th place in the competition, but it was a pretty good shot. I liked it. It was for a contest called Reflections Without Mirrors. So
how much?
That's my little.
What is your
What's that?
With your cameras? What is the is it the shutter capacity or something like that? Like the level of it? You know that?
On the drone or on the camera that shot that photo? Which way are we asking?
Oh, so that was okay. That wasn't a drone. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that was a DSLR camera from.
Gotcha. Okay, I misunderstood what you said. Then my apologies. Great picture though. Yeah. Great, very nice picture.
Thank you. So yeah. Anyways, I digress. Apparently. So now I got to get my shit back on step. So here's the thing. What do we got? We've got. I have to apologize. I'm all over the place with the studying for the test and with the everything going on, and we're flooded. Like our channel right now is flooded. We've grown pretty fast as a channel this year, and so we're experiencing growing pains. And our on the backside, I don't want to bore the crap out of you, but we're getting some software that we're using as a team so that we can collaborate better and stuff like that. And all these things are necessary changes, but it's putting me behind because in order to do all the administrative shit to try to get ourselves lined out for the future, I'm not doing long form videos that I was doing as much anymore. So I do plan on doing those. I've got a backlog of legal documents. I want to read the latest filing from Rex Heuermann's defense team. What were you saying?
No, I was saying I'm looking forward to you reviewing that 178-page document. That I'm looking forward to, and I'm trying to decide whether to do that as a. I'm trying to. Maybe Dago can give me tips because he's been at this longer than me too. But I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone. Do I do it as a members only live and record it and then take some of the best moments from that and turn it into a long form video so I can do two birds at one time? Or because what I generally do is I read a document, I make all my notes, and then I record a long form video talking about my highlights. But other people like live takes. So do I do it as a live take, or I don't know what to do?
See, I'll be honest with you. I don't do pre-records ever. I like to be live always, only because it's natural for me, and you get natural reactions and all that kind of stuff. That's just the way I've always been. So that I can't give much advice when it comes to that, but I would say whatever you're comfortable with that kind of stuff, whatever you feel is best for what you do and what the channel is good for, then I would just, whatever you're comfortable with would be the best thing in my opinion. I mean, all your,
I've been
amazing. So
I've been fortunate in the pre-recorded stuff where we've had some big videos that popped off with 30,000 views and stuff like that. And so I don't have those kind of numbers when you do a live. So in some regards, I feel like long form videos are my bread and butter, and the lives were a supplement. But like you're the opposite, right? You're a live guy, and Birdie live specialist and doesn't really even touch long form videos. So I'm kind of a hybrid. I like doing long form videos, but I also like doing the lives. So I'm kind of down the middle. But
I've been told by a lot of people that I'd probably get amazing views on them if I would do the long form pre-records. I'm one of them old fashioned. Not that I've been here 4 years as an old fashioned, but I like the old school ways. I'm just old fashioned with that live is real and real is real and you get what you get. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I've always done that. So I probably should do some, I've been told by a lot of my crew and many other people, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? I probably should. I just never have.
By the way, I want to share a moment while we can. This is an off the cuff thing about my channel's style. And thank God Dago's like this as well. So we made a decision at the time it was my channel, and now I can't talk about it's we, because we make decisions now instead of just me like it was in the early days. But we made a decision pretty early on that we were going to be an adult show. Like that's why it's Crimes After Dark. We're not going to pussyfoot around with SA. People get sexually assaulted, they get murdered, they get raped. We just say it. We don't fucking play those pew pew games and stuff like that, right? And so and we knew it comes with some loss, right? You don't get as much mass market appeal if you're dropping the F-bomb every 2 seconds and you're talking about murder, because again, advertisers get a little sketchy with it. But we've decided we were going to commit to that. And I will say, by the way, that 2 nights, this was weird, 2 nights back to back on our live, because of how mad we were about like the Brent Kopacka bullshit story, right? We were dropping so many F-bombs that YouTube flagged both of my last 2 lives as inappropriate for monetization because we dropped too many F-bombs on the show in too short a period of time. What's weird though is on their own, they retracted one and put it back to monetized. So they must have looked at it and decided it was okay. So we're kind of on the borderline, and the whole reason for all of that is I don't want to lose the edge that our show has. Yes, not everybody appreciates the F-bomb, but you know what? When we go on rants and we have passion, a lot more people resonate with the passion that we have and the anger and the indignation. And sometimes that comes with the fuck you, you're fucking with everybody. And that just is part of the price to pay. So again, people would think we're just clickbaiters. If we were clickbaiters, we'd be talking about pew-pewing and essaying people so we can get more views.
It's funny you brought that up. I went off about that in my channel the other night about, somebody said something and I said, because me and you had talked about this too, and I was saying something about that, a gun. I said, oh, yep, we said gun. And then somebody said, oh, you gotta say pew pew. And I said, fuck pew pew. I feel like, I'm trying to remember how I said this to them and they started losing it. I said, every time somebody says pew pew, I feel like, okay, hold on, guys. I'm going to go put my pew pew down and go pee pee like a little boy or something. That's what I feel like I'm saying. It's
right.
Stupid.
Right.
All of that bullshit. You say it's real. You know what I mean? And people, for whatever reason, I get a really good reaction when I start going off and dropping F-bombs left and right. They seem to like that. So, because I'm being like, I'm promoting my true feelings and passion for the situation. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? And that's why I've always been that way. So and that's one thing we are definitely alike with.
Thank God they don't care about cigars. Thank God they don't care about cigars.
Right.
Screwed.
Well, it's funny because I think they like TikTok wouldn't want you smoking on channels.
Oh God.
Right.
I didn't think YouTube allowed it either, but
they're not.
But
stupid.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like again, when early stages, I would hear people tell me, "DA, your channel would be way bigger if you would stop swearing." And I'm like, you have to understand, we're not targeting. I don't want to offend anybody when I say this, but I lost the hardcore Christian community a long time ago. Not to say that I don't think Christians watch the show. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying is I lost a certain type of people a long time ago. We're not going to get that back just because I stopped swearing so much. So we just made a decision a long time ago. We're going to be ourselves. Because again, if you don't like it, what you're saying is you don't like me. That is me. What we're seeing on camera is me. So if you don't like it, that means you don't like me, and you should probably find somebody you do like, because I'm not somebody you like.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, that's wrong too. That's wrong, because I used to be overly watchful over my language, and I still apologize for certain things I say around. It's just my upbringing is what it is. It's not anything else. And I noticed that I actually gained more people when I stopped being so careful about what I'm saying. And with this case, of course, it's really not my choice. This case piques me all the time to where I'm blowing up and dropping this and mother that.
It's triggering.
It's constantly triggering me. So it seems like it's gained because, and it's always been the same response, is that they like how passionate we are and how real we are with how we express ourselves. So, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So just saying.
So, I wouldn't be able to do intense topics like this and not curse.
Rain in your tongue. Yeah.
It's just in my, I'm a very animated and passionate person, man. I can't be worried about watching what I say. And thank God, that you guys are okay with it, because it's hard, man. You get fired up, man. Like we were all losing shit the other night, and it's hard to not get that way,
Yep.
Now,
what the hell is happening in the chat? well, I was gonna say, what the hell's happening in the chat about my shirt? Every once in a while, I keep people. Did I turn it on backwards or something today? Like, why is everybody like? I keep seeing comments about my shirt in the chat. Anyways, go ahead with your comment. Maybe somebody can clarify for me. I'm waiting to find out. I could take the booger off your shirt. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it looks cool. I like it.
I think I interrupted your point. Did you?
I went off today a couple times. Like, can I remember the day I came in here and I blew up about the damn fog lights thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was kind of like that today over at my show. It was a different subject, but I just started it. I get myself upset is what I do. I'll start talking or watching or reading something, and somebody brought up Hitler again, and then the hearing, and I just went. I could just feel it going up and up and up, and that deal, and I just blew up, and that was what it was. And I always do it, and then I'm like, I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I don't mean to be that way. I just have strong feelings about this. I do the same shit every time, so it is what it is.
And I think. Go ahead, Robin.
I was just gonna say, I think Hitler's bipolar. On one hand, he like when that thing first started out, I thought every time he kept going to Brian, like, you do realize what you're saying. Like, I was like half expecting him to like turn down the whole plea deal, and then the next thing you know,
the plea deal,
freaking steamrolling over Brian and calling him and then crying, and it's like, what?
Yeah. I saw moments too where it seemed like he was almost saying like, why the hell are you pleading guilty? But then when he did, it was like, well, then fuck you. You're like, you're guilty.
It was hard to take how that was what he was actually feeling when he was doing it, other than the idiot that he is, because he pissed me off so bad that day. It was almost like he flipped a switch and went from one person to the other. Like, he was very like, okay, if you guys remember the one point where he was like, well, Mr. Koberger, you don't need to stand every time you respond to that. But then,
I appreciate you being polite and respectful.
Yeah. And then within it, I don't even know how long it was. The next time he speaks, he's like, we're not to believe anything this person says because he's this and he's that. And he's just, I'm like, who the hell is this guy? He's like literally hot and cold. It's crazy.
Yeah. It seemed performative to me, to be honest. I watched it and I don't know, man.
The whole rubbing his eyes and dotting.
Yeah, it's like my favorite comedy video of the last few years was when the spokesperson for the Pentagon fake cried in an interview. And it was the fakest cry I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, I can't believe that he's doing this. Like, now he thinks he's an actor.
Yeah, and that's what it comes off like. I mean, truly, and Bill Thompson both.
To be fair, I've seen behavior like that. It wasn't quite the same with Hitler, but I've seen behavior like that, and I understand it, where a judge up to the conviction part, where the jury reads the verdict or whatever, has to pretend at least that they have impartiality, that they haven't already had an opinion about the thing the whole way. But once the guilty verdict has been made, then they can say, I hope you rot in hell for the rest of your life. And the judge can say that from the stand and remove all bias from the case once it's been. So I've seen that happen before, where a judge up to a certain point will be like, very respectful and, this is your right. And do you understand your rights? But then once the verdict's read, they're like, and by the way, now that you're guilty, fuck yourself and get this piece of shit out of my courtroom.
Exactly.
I've seen judges do that.
Right.
So,
But Lee, have you ever seen a case where, people are giving, their statements and people are clapping and going? I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
That was a bit over the top.
And Steve G's allowed to turn the podium, and
they don't do those things. They don't do. I've never seen any of that stuff in a court. They moved the whole courtroom.
That's why I believe what JJ said. It was like a whole. It was a theater show. It was a whole.
And a couple of my mods pointed out that they moved the courtroom around to be like so that they could sit and have things just a certain way. And I was like, really? And I looked around. I'm like, holy shit, they did. And then, like you said, all of that I agree with JJ on that. All of that seemed to be like total theatrics, the applause, the just every bit of it. And it's like, oh my God, this is almost like a TV show. It's gross.
I mean, usually a judge would shut that shit down.
Shut it down. Yeah.
You would be able, even if he even if he agrees, he's supposed to be, he's the judge, supposed to be impartial. Like
that's right.
Do that shit in my courtroom.
So it's funny because here it is. I don't want to disagree with my panel. Hitler gave a warning at the beginning that we don't want any theatrics in this thing or whatever during but on the one hand, I kind of understand him allowing a little leeway for it. I think it was over the top, like Olivia's calling him a bunch of names and all the shit that she did was over the top. And I think it would have been appropriate for the judge to say, hey, but he was trying to give them some space to vent how they feel about it. So there's a fine line. I think judges have to walk the way where they like, look, you have the right to say something, even if I wouldn't have worded it that way. But so I don't know that Hitler allowing it was 100% over the top, or just him trying to be courteous and allowing a little bit of grace and leeway for families that are upset to say their piece. But by the same token, I think it was over the top.
The applause was too much.
The applause was over.
Yeah,
he should have asked he should have reminded the courtroom to keep their clapping down and not to do that.
Yeah.
And Steve G turning the podium. I think that we spoke to Allie about that. And she said she's
like
that.
Never.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Never.
There was a lot of weirdness.
If Steve Jr., if you guys noticed his impact statement, he didn't make in the courtroom. He made it afterwards, and it was all directed. I wonder if they just allowed that in the courtroom because of what he was saying.
Yeah.
I've wondered that since that happened. You know what I mean?
Well, it's supposed to be decorum in the courtroom.
Right.
And it's you've seen it a million times. Like, everybody, you can't do that. No
order in the court. Yes. Right.
Things like that. So that's why I felt for a very long time with this case, there was a lot of, as Amanda just said in the chat, theatrics.
Yeah.
And that's just my opinion based on my instincts. And I've felt that with a lot of things. And as we've all gone forward and seen all the things that have come out that are horseshit, that have been proven to be horseshit. And now with us watching the two separate body cam footages, and I know that's not Idaho 4, but it still involves things that we believe were possibly connected.
Yeah.
And when that even reinforces it even more to me that things are connected, because when you see the same level of fuckery going on, up the road in this other case that was all but swept under the rug, it raises questions for me even more.
Yeah. We've got work to do, by the way. We've got work to do in that Kopacka case. I really need to, again, Kopacka didn't have to die, but I seriously question when he died and how he died. Now that I've seen two conflicting agencies, that the time does not match. What you see and hear does not match at 3:00-ish in the morning, and so it makes me wonder when he actually died and what and why. And it's not just us being crazy. Like, it just flat out, there's no way in hell those two cameras are showing the same thing. There's no way. The more I think about it, there's absolutely no way we could have missed all the sounds and activity on the footage that you showed, for example, that Lana had. There's no way that could have been going on. The stuff
I'm going to give you an instance. There's two parts to that. Like I showed that night. I went back through it, Lee, the next day on my own early in the morning. I was up early. So I went back through and scrubbed through both videos, right? Looking to see if I may have missed something somewhere. We may have missed something.
Yeah.
I've not heard yet anything on either one of those videos that I heard on yours, except one time hearing, Brent, you're under arrest. That was it. Nothing
That's it.
else ever. Nothing. How does
that's
that
the only part that matches up. And that's that's the only part that matches up. And in fact, I want to prove if that matches up by the second. Like the part where he says branch are under arrest. If that matches up in both audios, they really have a problem. And again, I want to go after that like a fucking pit bull. I want somebody to explain that because somebody illegally tampered with evidence. If that's the case, I'm 100% convinced of it. Now I'm not going to accuse them of it until I see it for proof. And even then, I won't accuse. What I'll say is, please explain to me how it looks like there's manipulating of evidence.
Yeah, right.
Because there's no way that this match. There's no way. But again, we have a lot of work to do because that is 100% sure fuckery, as Joe would say in that case. And are we sure Kopeck is deceased? No, I'm not sure because as we pointed out, and I don't want to get crazy, but you never see Kopech's face. Never.
We're not sure of anything anymore with this. To be honest with you, I'm not, at least, because you don't. You're right. We see it in my video. You can see a figure move over there. That's it. I don't know who that is. That could be anybody. And I think Lana even said whoever's in that room, whether it's Kopecha or somebody else is in there with him or somebody else altogether. But we don't see his face. We don't know it's him. You hear a voice, but that could be anybody's voice at that distance, and the way it sounds, it's distorted. You can't tell, you guys. So at this point, and I'm normally not that person that would jump down into a rabbit hole and say, yep, he could be alive on the beach doing all that stuff. I'm normally not that person, but at this point, because we've never saw his face, we don't have the right timeline. Here again, those videos don't match up. There's so many other things that are just screwed up with it. I'll sit here and tell you, we don't know if he's alive or dead. That's sad.
I wanted to highlight this comment because it was one of the things that Robin said, and us guys tend to, we tend to overshout Robin sometimes. I feel bad for Robin, but Robin was making the big point on that show when we were watching the audio. Why are we hearing the tink, tink, tink of shell casings hitting the ground? That doesn't make any fucking sense, right? And she made a big deal out of it. And thank goodness somebody here saying the same thing. I still can't get over the shell casings where you hear hitting the floor. Like that in itself is a problem. Like there's problems with this.
And why did the apartment
what was about that was, how when you're listening to things with headphones on and you can hear whether things are landing on the right or the left. And what I was continually hearing was it was landing just like it was right on my left side. And it wasn't over here so much as it was on my left side. And it's just incredible to me that. And that's why I kept asking you guys that shoot guns on a much more regular basis than I do, and no guns better than me. Like if you had a rifle, was it doing what? Would it eject? And like Dago said, they would have ejected on carpet.
But even if it wasn't hitting carpet, if it was hitting the wood floor, some kind of wood floor, you wouldn't have heard it to that.
Not that close.
Not like
that. It was literally right there. It was right there next to that body cam, somewhere within, I'd say, a 1 to 1.5 foot range around that body cam.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense. I still can't get my mind to process that at all.
And also, what about the optical illusion of the apartment with the busted out window that looks like it's on the first floor?
That's wild too.
I know that, right? That it does still bug me.
Very wild.
We kind of talked it out, and maybe you can understand it, but it still doesn't fucking.
Not really though, because even when I went around that building, you guys, when I was on the Google Map thing, I went around the building and I'm looking and I'm like, that still doesn't match. It looks like it's in a completely different area. But it's right there. It's like eye level. If you're standing at that window looking down, you should be looking down. You're looking straight across.
Right.
That's the difference.
Right.
It's very weird.
And I still have moments listening to when I go back and listen. I mean, as many people said, when we listen to those audios are really hard to listen to. It's because some of it's triggering. If your mind plays games with you and tries to imagine what's happening in that sound of the chaos, there's moments that just really fucking bother you. Like, what is that loud thump and the fuck yeah? Like, what did they do? Who hurt who and what just fucking happened right there? And are they celebrating and getting excited they just fucked clubbed somebody's head off, or what the fuck? Like your mind's like, what the fuck just happened right there that you're like, fuck yeah, like what did you just do to somebody?
When we watched those two videos side by side and realized there's some serious fuckery going on there, it took me back to that, Lee. I'm glad you brought that back up. when we heard all of that noise happen, okay, right after we hear are you sure you want to do this? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And then it's like that all went down, and then it got quiet for a period of time. I am really, I've been stuck on this for a while now, a couple of days now. It's really been bothering me. I'm really starting to wonder if that point in time right there is when Brent was taken out. Okay.
I agree.
Because
I think
there's so much going on. Yeah, exactly. There's so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot stop thinking about how that sounds, everything that goes along with it, the words that were stated before and after.
Yeah.
And I feel like that may have been the point in time. If and I could be wrong, guys. I probably am, but I'm not in my mind. I can't get away from it.
So. There's no way they would wait 2
that's
hours.
The part,
they wouldn't wait 2 hours for proof of life. And no way.
They talked about DD, the dynamic deployment. They talked about DD. I think when they talked about it, got altered in the time sequence. I think, and that's what bothers me, is the part that keeps making me. I mean, I've lost some sleep over this. It feels like they went toe to toe with him, and they went toe to toe with him. And they killed him in hand-to-hand combat essentially somehow, and that's how it played out. And then they fucked everybody in America and made it sound like it was a sniper that took him out from the window. I think they bum rushed him. I think they fucking engaged him toe to toe in the room, and who knows what the fuck happened to him. That's what we heard. We heard them go toe to toe with him.
There's too many sounds in there, you guys, that I've heard in other situations. That the weird wailing. The oh no, the all of that in succession through the period of time, literally sounds like Lee just said, he was bum rushed, and I don't know if they went hand to hand with him and they got him with a knife, or if they shot him or whatever it was, but he sounds literally like he was taken down and he suffers at some point, and then it goes quiet, and it's like, what the hell just happened? Truly and honestly, that's what my mind told me at that point.
And something that I can't help but imagining is, since we have seen a lot of narrative control on the Idaho 4 case, me personally, I wouldn't rule out the possibility that whole event was staged as a distraction to divert attention away from the fact that they had not arrested anybody for the Idaho 4 case.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, it's a lot of what is done at the higher levels is distraction is used very strategically.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a lot of heat going in one area, you create something in another area that takes some of the heat off, at least temporarily, and it functions as a distraction.
Sure.
And we've all agreed, we've heard and seen things with those body cam footages and the dialogue and things that would not rule out the possibility that it was an exercise. And so someone might say, well, why would they report it as it was a real crime? Well, if you wanted to use it as a distraction for the public and for the to just divert. I know it sounds crazy, but if you look at what the mainstream media does, a lot of it is distraction. So that's just something that came to mind. I try to look at different aspects of things and see what are other possibilities.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Well, on that note, I think let's wrap up for the evening. I think this has been a good show, a good discussion. We don't have an agenda when we do these things most of the time. Sometimes we have an important thing to talk about, like when we get clips from the stuff, the Kopaka standoff and whatever. But I really appreciate that we can all be so passionate about this subject, and we're passionate about the fight for justice. Dago, I commend you, and JJ, I commend you, and all the people who, I can't remember if one got a copy, but those who picked up the book of Framed, I think JJ did you get your copy before me, JJ? I can't remember if you got your copy before me, but
yeah, well, I'm the one who sent it to you, remember? I sent you the picture of it.
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah.
I'm about halfway through.
I can't stress enough, people, pick up a copy of this book. even if you already believe that people get railroaded into false confessions, get a copy of that book anyways. It'll educate you on just how deep the rabbit hole can go. And Innocent Man by John Grisham as well. The Innocent Man, yeah. So these books should be guaranteed reading. It should be for everybody to read in America, really, frankly, because it just wakes you up to if anything, it just should wake you up to the possibility that this kind of stuff happens all across our country.
It's real. It is. It's not. These guilters. Listen, I'll say this. A lot of guilters say that all this stuff right here that's in these books is not real. It doesn't happen. There's proof right here, guys. This is absolute proof. Yeah. Okay, it's not fake.
I was so tripped out, Dago, from just reading the preface of that book that I sent TA a highlighted section of the book when I just started reading it, just from the preface of the book.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. I read one I read one paragraph from the opening thing, and I said, everybody needs to buy this book immediately, because they're talking about people who were actually guilty of a crime, actually in some cases worked with law enforcement to put somebody else away for a crime that they committed. And they worked with law enforcement to put somebody else away for something that they themselves did.
The thought of that is absolutely
a wake-up call to a lot of people.
It's insane. The thought of it's insane, you know?
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
It is insane. Well, thank you guys for this great show again. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this. JJ, Dago, Robin, and then 1-1 on the way out, and then I'll close. So JJ, any closing thoughts for the night?
Yes, of course. Thank you again to all you guys. Thank you to the Den. Thank you to the Meatballs and all the mods. You guys rock. And for those who were interested in what we're doing Sundays with the Kurt Cobain thing, I've been, as just a little side research, I just started reading the book on Kristen Pfaff, who was the bass player for Courtney Love's band Hole. And it's interesting because it's like a parallel narrative. She died like same age, 27, a month after Kurt Cobain, of a supposed heroin overdose. And there were, there's a lot of rumors and whatnot that link her and Kurt together. So it's been actually really interesting. The last 2 days I started reading that. I think you guys will really, if you're into that case, I think you would appreciate that one, because her death got overshadowed, obviously, because it happened right after Kurt Cobain died. So anyway, we'll get to that on Sunday. But again, thank you to everybody. I appreciate you guys. And as always, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And real quick to follow that up, JJ, you really are impressive on this show. I really love your presence on the show. When I feel like our meeting at that Crime Con was fortuitous. It was meant to be. I've had a connection with you since we met, and I'm so glad you're a part of the show. I love that when I take the night off on Sundays, that you're helping the others carry the torch on the Kurt Cobain thing. I think it's really cool. I'm not getting into that case because I got too many fucking cases in my head, to be honest with you. But it's so cool that you guys have this kind of thing going on, talking about a case that has some interest to our audience. So thank you, and the rest of you too that are working on that case for me, because I don't have time to do another case, but I'm so appreciative of what you guys are doing. It's amazing. So
right on, man.
Thank you very much. Dago, what do you got for us on the way out?
First, I want to add to JJ. Yeah, absolutely. There's so many parallels between those two, Kristen Pfaff as well as Kurt. I mean, it's amazing. I'm super excited that you've been reading that, because there were some things that I had to add to that, to what we talk about on Sundays with that as well. So I'm looking forward to that. And I agree. It's been an honor to be able to meet you, JJ, as well as 1-1, Robin, and Lee, of course, and everybody else in here. But it's just another added, I'm trying to think of the right word, just an added jewel, okay, to the crown of becoming part of this community over here. I absolutely, amazing. You do great things in here. You've opened my mind up in different ways, JJ, since I've been over here. So I appreciate you for that, and I want to thank you for that right out of the gate. Everybody else in here, thank you as always. It's always an honor to be here. I appreciate you guys putting up with me talking over people and my stupid ass ADHD and the things that it does to me repeatedly, all of that, and putting up with me. And of course, accepting my family, my community. my crew, my team, and all of us over here with the love that you guys have and the open arms that you have. We really appreciate and love you guys over here very much. And I'm grateful for this union and looking forward to it going forward. And doing these shows every night is just like the highlight of my day, to be honest with you. I really do appreciate you guys so very much.
Thanks, Dago.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you and your community. What a cool moment it was. Was it Ange that came in and donated money to me? And then she's like, oh, I feel bad. I got to give money to Dago too. And it's cool because our audiences love both of us, and it's a symbiotic thing. We've got a great thing going on, and it's I love that. It's so cool to watch how our communities embrace each other. So, all right, Robin, what do you got for the evening to say goodnight?
Well, I have a challenge for you, DA. I think you need to do a book review series on Framed.
Oh,
hey,
it's great. Yeah. It's great.
I
might do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have not read it yet, so that would be amazing. I would absolutely love that. And you need to get back to your other book series too. I mean, I know they're not the highest viewed or whatever on the channel, but a lot of people do really appreciate them. So, but like the rest of you guys, JJ, you're awesome. Just read the chat, man. No.
I'm never going to live that
Sparkly
down.
Fish by
no. Oh my God. You guys were too funny. You were too funny. Oh my God. Yeah.
We do it. We do it. Sparkly Fish is going to give Dago that size thing. I apparently I even get the bigger TV. You got the smaller phone on that one. I'm sure. Look, it's not personal. It's just this particular show.
Have a great night, folks. Bye. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Thank you.
That's
all good. Okay, 1-1. What do you? 1-1. What do you got?
Thanks everyone for coming out. Great show as always. Robin, JJ, Dago, great partnership. Your mods and great that we have a lot of similarities and just brainstorming and pulling on these threads. Hopefully we can actually get to the truth with some of these cases. Great thought process, deep thinking, going through all this stuff. Obviously we have no show without you wonderful people, right? And the denizens and Meatball. So you guys, we love all of you. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and of course, the boss man. We have no show without Lee. Lee is he's at the helm. We appreciate you more than we can, more than I can put into words. I have deep respect for your intelligence, and I love I wish there was more time in a day so you could do so many things, but your analysis of documents and all that stuff is beyond what many other people do. So all the stuff, our show is not one way faceted. We do comedy. we do a lot of stuff here. So it's great.
We are kind of a comedy show.
Yeah. The drone is going to be, adds another layer of the onion. It's going to be amazing. And just, again, Sunday's show, again, thanks to Lee for allowing us to give something a little different. I know some of you are super interested, and we will be covering the Kurt Cobain stuff, probably another 3 weeks or so. So look forward to that. It'll be a very interesting show.
Yep,
right
absolutely.
Yeah, and to let people know, by the way, about the chat and how it works, and about Dago on the way out as well. So I can see Dago's chat when he's co-streaming. I can see his chat and I can see my chat. I think he also can see both of our chats. We can see when chats are ours or the others. Unfortunately, our chats can't see each other's chats, right?
That's
so we are seeing everything. Dago, Yeah, Dago and I are seeing everything from both chats, but the independent chats aren't. So if you're on Dago's channel, my chat's not seeing your comments unless we pin it on screen, and vice versa, unfortunately. So Hemisphere, you asked a question. Can DA see my chat? Yes, I can see your chat, even though if you're on Dago's channel and whatever. So that's unfortunately the nature of the co-streaming is that whoever's chat side you're on, you're only seeing that chat, unfortunately, and I don't think there's any way around that right now. But anyways, just wanted to let you know how that works. So we both see both combined chats.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for the great night. We're looking forward to doing great things. The drone coverage, I think, is going to be great. My wife and I have a trip coming up to both Whitesburg, Kentucky area for the Letcher County Mickey Steins case, as well as Delphi, Indiana coming up. We're going to put boots on the ground and drones in the air. We're going to get some footage for you. We're going to talk about that. We're going to add new perspectives. We're going to do more legal breakdowns. We're going to keep on the Jennifer Hill disappearance, mysterious death in the case of the Mickey Steins case. We've got Luigi Mangione big legal decisions coming up very, very soon. We got Rex Heuermann's case starting very, very soon. We've got an appeal in the Delphi case, Richard Allen appealing the wrongful conviction. There is a piss ton of stuff, and I feel like we're just getting started on the Idaho 4 in a lot of ways, because there's a lot of fuckery happening in that case, and we're breaking up in public records requests, and we're going after documents, and the fight has just begun. Everybody have a great weekend. We're taking tomorrow night off. Seahawks, go Seahawks. For those who are not Seahawk fans, I'm really sorry. You need to get on board. Go Seahawks tomorrow night in the playoff round. Hopefully we beat the 49ers and move on to the next round. I feel like the Hawks have a chance this year of going to the Super Bowl. So they have a fantastic team, and if they don't slip up, it's all the way for the Seahawks. So have a great night, everybody. Taking tomorrow night off. The team will take care of Sunday, Kurt Cobain stuff on Sunday, as well as other things, and we'll see you all as a family again on Monday night. Take it easy, everybody.
Have a great night,
everybody.
Night.
See you guys.